Om Sarvadharmasthapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. Sri Ramakrishna has told us in our previous learning that any path that we follow, whether we follow the path of Vaishnavas or Shaktas or the path of Shaivites, any path, the religion that Hindus follow, the Muslims follow, the Christians follow, all the paths are going to lead to the ultimate realization. It is not that one path only is true and all other paths are false. Sri Ramakrishna says, because of the immaturity, because of that half-cooked learning, people think only my path is true, and there the fights arise. A Vaishnava fights with Shakta, Shakta fights with Shaivite, and all these three, they start fighting with people of other religions, all other religions, they start fighting among themselves, which is a result of immaturity, which is the result of half-cooked knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna says, anyone who follows his or her own path with earnestness, with most sincerity, will realize ultimately that all the paths lead to the same goal. They have the same realization. It is the same God. All these different paths they are taking us to. And then Sri Ramakrishna told us through that example of how the water in the ocean gets solidified into ice with the extreme freezing temperatures. Sri Ramakrishna said the water in the ocean, it gets solidified in different forms of ice, and exactly like that, with the cooling influence of the devotion of the bhakta, the water of the ocean of Satchidananda, it gets solidified into various forms. Then we see the form of Krishna, we see the form of Rama, we see the form of Kali, we see the form of Durga, we see the form of Manasa, we see the form of Buddha, we see the form of Jesus, and all these different forms, they arise in that ocean of Satchidananda. And Sri Ramakrishna says, with the dawn of knowledge, the moment the devotee is progressing on this path, worshipping these forms, the realization dawns that all these forms, they start melting back into water. Now again the ocean water back into the ocean water. These forms the Satchidananda takes just for the sake of devotees, because of that cooling influence of the devotion of the devotee. The water of the Satchidananda ocean, it freezes and takes those forms. But as the sun of knowledge rises, as the knowledge dawns, devotees realize that these forms are immaterial. They are all the part of Satchidananda. All these true devotees, they have that realization. Why we were fighting unnecessarily? All these forms, they are one and the same. All these forms, they are just water of the same ocean of Satchidananda, of that ultimate reality. That knowledge dawns, and all these forms again start disappearing once the devotee gains that ultimate knowledge. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, but still, for certain devotees, these forms remain eternal. For Radha, Krishna was eternal. Radha could never imagine Krishna to get into that the blessedness of back to the Satchidananda formless form. No. For Radha, Krishna was eternal. For Hanuman, Sri Ram was eternal. So likewise for some devotees, these forms, they are eternally present. They don't melt down back into the water of Satchidananda. And then Sri Ramakrishna said that even in the ocean, you find there are some places where ice doesn't melt. And these eternal forms of the divine, they are like it assumes the form of quartz. Quartz doesn't melt. Quartz remains as quartz. And Sri Ramakrishna says it happens in the Leela of the Lord, Leela of absolute reality, that at times some of these forms, they can become like quartz and they retain their eternal forms. But normally all the forms, they belong, even quartz belong to Satchidananda, for that matter. Even quartz belong to the ocean. It is not separate entity from ocean. It is a form of ice solidified which cannot melt, that's it. But still it is a form of ice. And then Sri Ramakrishna finally concludes this particular teaching saying God has form, he is formless too. Further, he is beyond both form and formlessness. No one can limit him. You cannot limit God with certain definition that God has form or God doesn't have form. He has everything. He has forms. He is without form. Even the forms, they melt into that formlessness, and some forms still get retained to eternity. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's teaching on that particular aspect of the forms of God. And now again the devotees, they are sitting in Sri Ramakrishna's room, and Rakhal's father, Rakhal, who happens to be a spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna, a young boy, extremely pure-hearted, the purest of the pure. Sri Ramakrishna loves him like his own spiritual son. In fact, the Divine Mother, during the period of Sri Ramakrishna's severe austerities, the sadhana period, 12 years phase of Sri Ramakrishna's life in those austerities, sadhana, Divine Mother had shown, indicated to Sri Ramakrishna that a boy will come to you who will be your spiritual son. Because Ramakrishna was worried. I mean, although I am married, but I am not going to have any physical relationship with my wife, and how can I have a son? But the Divine Mother had indicated, you are going to have a spiritual son, born of your spirit. And when Rakhal came to Sri Ramakrishna realized that he is the boy that the Divine Mother was telling me about. He is going to be your son. And Rakhal used to spend a lot of time with Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. And from Rakhal's family point of view, his father never had any objection of Rakhal spending so much time with Sri Ramakrishna. In fact, he even approved Rakhal's father. And today, being the birthday of Sri Ramakrishna, Rakhal's father himself had come to offer his salutations to Sri Ramakrishna. He was sitting in that group, in the group of devotees, and he was very happy visiting Sri Ramakrishna. Then the moment the talk started again, then Sri Ramakrishna mentioned that youngsters like Rakhal, they belong to class of ever perfect. These are the ever perfect souls. These are the ever free souls. They never get bound by the influence of Maya. They are never tempted into the worldly temptations. They are ever free souls. The fisherman's net never reaches their limits. It never reaches to them. The fisherman's net can never trap these ever free souls into its net. They are born with God consciousness. Now Sri Ramakrishna is praising, when it comes to talking about his beloved children, Rakhal, then Narain, Niranjan, Baburam, all these youngsters who have become intimate disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, and later who gave up everything of this worldly life. They renounced everything for the sake of following Sri Ramakrishna's teachings and making his teachings aware to the great number of people, to the world around. So Sri Ramakrishna says, they are born with God consciousness. No sooner they grow a little older than they realize the danger of coming in contact with the world. Right from birth, they have the consciousness within them. And as they start growing, as toddlers, little older children, they start realizing, they gain that knowledge that these worldly temptations are not for me. They may be there for others. Right from childhood, they have this concept very clear in their mind because they are ever free souls. They are Nitya Jivas. Then Sri Ramakrishna gives, again, he narrates the story of that the mentioned in the Vedas. Sri Ramakrishna says there is the parable of Homa bird in the Vedas. The bird lives high up in the sky and never descends to earth. The bird is in so highest of the realms in the sky. The bird never comes down on earth. It's just enjoying that peace and bliss in the high abode, highest abode. The bird lives high up in the sky and never descends to earth. It lays its egg in the sky. The egg begins to fall, but the bird lives in such a high region that the egg hatches while falling. The mother bird has given the egg and the egg starts falling down. But the whole thing is happening at such a high altitude that as the egg starts falling down, during the fall, the egg hatches and the little bird also comes out. The fledgling comes out and continues to fall. Now, egg is broken. The little bird, the fledgling, has come out. The fledgling is falling down. But it is still so high that while falling, it grows wings and its eyes open. High altitude. The fledgling is falling down. During the fall, it also gets its wings. The eyes open. And then the young bird perceives that it is dashing down to the earth. Then the bird realizes the fledgling has developed its wings. It has opened its eyes. And now it is saying, oh my God, I'm falling down on earth. I'm going to be crashed. I'm going to be destroyed. And I will be falling down on the earth and will be instantly killed. The moment the bird sees the ground, what it does? It turns up and shoots up towards its mother. That's it. I am not going to fall off the ground. I'm not going to get destroyed. I'm not going to get trapped in all those temptations which are lying there on the ground. No, my mother is there high up. Let me go back to my mother. And the bird just shoots up back to its mother. Then its one goal is to reach its mother. That's the only goal. No the crashing on the ground, no destruction, and no more temptations. No. That ground is not for me. For me, it is only my mother. And then Sri Ramakrishna, with great pride, he's saying, youngsters like Rakhal are like that bird. From their very childhood, they are afraid of the world. And their one thought is how to reach the mother, how to realize God. That is how these ever-free souls, they behave in this world. They come to the world, no doubt. But right from their childhood, the concepts are absolutely clear. They know that they have to realize God. That is their ultimate motive. And not only they have to realize, they have to show the path to others as well. Their concept of God realization is not with the selfish motive of let me realize God and let me get mukti and let me get moksha, let me get nirvana. No. Their idea of God realization is, okay, now I have taken this body, let me realize the ultimate truth and show the path to all the other strugglers on this path, those who are miserably trying to come out of this the entire racket of Maya. And then Sri Ramakrishna poses a question himself. He says, but it may be said that how come such divine souls, they are born to worldly people? You may ask, how is it possible for these boys born of worldly parents and living among the worldly minded to develop such knowledge and devotion? And And then Sri Ramakrishna says, yeah, the doubt may come that how come such divine souls, they are born of ordinary parents who are worldly. Parents are worldly, the family is worldly, the surroundings are worldly, and still these one or two among the thousands and millions, they retain that consciousness, divine consciousness, and they come up. How does it happen? Then Sri Ramakrishna gives here another example. He says it can be explained. If a pea falls into a heap of dung, it germinates into pea plant nonetheless. If a seed of a pea plant falls on the ground, when it falls, it will, yes, it will come up as a pea plant only. But even if it falls in dung, in the worst possible circumstances, even when that seed germinate, it will germinate and grow into a pea plant only. It can't grow as some other plant. The divine soul, whichever condition, whichever circumstances it takes birth, whether good or bad or ugly, the divine soul will come up as a divine soul. Nobody can change that direction. Neither the circumstances nor the family atmosphere. Divine soul will always be divine. A seed of pea, when even if fallen in the dung, will grow up into a pea plant only. It won't grow up into any other plant. Because it was sown in dung, will it produce another kind of plant? Sri Ramakrishna says, no. It is the divine soul. It has to grow like a divine soul under whichever circumstances it takes birth. So that is Sri Ramakrishna's indication to Rakhal's father that you are so lucky that you have such a son who is going to illumine the paths of so many downtrodden people, who is going to be a huge banyan tree for that matter, spread over hundreds and thousands of acres of land, that so many people will come to take shelter under that tree and get peace of mind, get the path towards liberation. So Sri Ramakrishna, all the praises for his spiritual son Rakhal and children like Rakhal, the divine souls who take birth just to show path to others. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.